It's the Jeff Vicario Show. The Jeff, yes, on SLE Radio. Good evening, welcome to another edition of this occasionally meandering, sometimes borderline coherent show about indie music. I've got a great lineup for you as always. I'm kind of psyched about it as always. And I'm gonna start with an apology. On show number 14, I played a song from Gravity Gun, one of my favorite acts out there, and I managed to play the wrong song. I was supposed to play a more recent track called Eaten by Moths, and I spoke of the song thusly, if that is indeed a word. But as it turned out later, the song that I played was in fact called Fist Fighting a Robot. And I so wish I had known that, because that's the greatest song title of all time. Fist Fighting a Robot, come on. I wish I had gotten that right. Anyway, so I'm gonna fix that. Eaten by Moths by Gravity Gun is gonna be on this show, but it won't be the first song. The first song is a great sort of Queensryche classic. It's called I Don't Believe in Love. I'm just kidding. The song title is the same, but this is, of course, a song by Swayze. Swayze was on the last show too, I think, or the one before that. I've been playing a bunch of his music. No, it was also, I think, on show 14. And the song I played then was called Overdrive, but this is a brand new one. It's from his, as of when I'm recording this, his forthcoming record, but it actually may be out by the time this show airs on September 1st, a Tuesday at 8 p.m. UK time on SLE Radio. I am in Finland, of course. This is a Friday in August. I am ahead of schedule, as I always am. Anyway, Swayze. The song is called I Don't Believe in Love, and I have not heard it, but maybe you have. I don't know. Anyway, it's the first song that we're gonna kick this show off with, and I think I'm gonna shut the hell up right now and try not to say right now so much this time. Swayze, you know what you're gonna get. Funk laced with synth, or the other way around.
There's a flame and you're running your fingers through my hair. You got the little bit of smile to my face and I was feeling like I couldn't care. But then you said our words, words are the fun. Well, I'm sorry, babe, but I don't believe in love. Once you get you some, you just can't get enough. And it doesn't mean I don't wanna get you up. Just you all agree, there's just no such thing as love. I just don't believe in love.
That was another massive hit single from Swayze that was called I Don't Believe in Love. Well, as it turns out, I do, but you know, I kind of still, I think, where he's going with that sentiment. Anyway, Move Over Prince, well, he did. But, you know, the new Master of Funk is in town, and he's called Swayze. Those bass lines, when they hit, they really do hit. And overall, I like his style of production. It's really in your face, crystal clear, and it kind of hits you right where it hurts, but pleasantly. That was actually not a criticism at all. That's not what I do on this show. I mean, I wouldn't even bother playing music that I had to criticize. What would be the point of that? Anyway, that was a great song. I hadn't heard it before, and I must say that its grooves were kind of angularly seductive, not necessarily entirely smooth, but there was a smoothness to it as well. I mean, all kinds of different vibes emanated from that song, even when the chord changes that, you know, kind of resolved themselves in a way that you anticipated. It was still kind of like, it was kind of nice. It was like meeting an old friend, but in an entirely new dress. Or, if I'm not entirely mistaken, it might be a silk suit from JCPenney. I don't know, but indeed I do know that the next song is a new song by another favorite artist of mine. This duo I actually played on the previous show number 15, just on a whim, because that was like a greatest hits type of deal. But this one is an all-new single from Unknown Land. This collaboration across vast distances, oceans in between. The other half is in Australia, and the other half is in Chile, in South America. And this song is called Icarus. Somebody's gonna get burned, I'm sure. I haven't heard this. I just grabbed it off of Bandcamp because the group got in touch with me and said, here's a new single. How would you like to play it? Well, of course, I'm going to play it. Unknown Land with a song called Icarus right now on SLERadio.com. Well, I said it again, damn it. Unknown Land, and the song was called Icarus on SLERadio.com on this fine Tuesday evening, and could be a whole other experience if it is gone past noon wherever you're listening to this. Anyway, what an amazing song. Not at all what I was expecting. To my ears, that was quite a departure from Dark Seasons, their masterpiece of an album from last year, but it was great nevertheless. The stark simplicity of the chorus when it comes to you after that voice, that amazing voice, is somewhat distant during the verses, but then when the chorus comes and it's right next to your eardrum, it's ear candy. Very, very, very what's the adjective that I'm searching for? Well, as always with Unknown Land, I kind of run out of superlatives. But suffice to say that I'm very much looking forward to whatever conceptual piece of music that may be a part of, or if it's just a standalone single, then fine. But if it's hinting at a new album or an EP, then I am waiting with bated breath here in Finland. I hope to hear a brand new album from that group sometime soon. But if it takes a year, if it takes 10, I'll be here waiting, ready to play their music. But first and foremost, I'm such a fan. I just love listening to their stuff. That's all. In the end, when this show is done, their music will still live on and be discovered by the multitudes that deserve to hear it. Am I making any sense? You be the judge. I don't know. Let me just now move on to the next song and correct my mistake from a few episodes back. Now, indeed, we're hearing the song from Gravity Gun, which is called Eaten by Moths. This is the song I was supposed to play. Now, I could come up with some convoluted excuse as to why I managed to play the wrong song. You could say, well, how well do you know their music if you didn't know that was Fist Fighting a Robot? Well, there you go. I haven't listened to everything they've ever done. My favorite record is the one that has Harvestmen on it. I admit I haven't investigated everything else they've ever put out. That's why these mistakes sometimes happen. But I don't feel too bad about exposing their music, even their older stuff, to the wider audience, both of you who may be listening right now. And, whatever. This is indeed a more recent song. This is called Eaten by Moths. It's by Gravity Gun, and I'm gonna shut up now. Well, wasn't that beautiful, actually? What a song. What a gorgeous, gorgeous electronic masterpiece of a song. That was Gravity Gun with Eaten by Moths. Man, I'm I'm like goosebumps all over the place here listening to that one. It was like the flip side to their more abrasive vibe that, again, I'm mentioning Harvestman here because to me that's the song that with all the sort of dramatic horror movie vibes that they have on that one, but that was like a palate cleanser compared to, well, I mean, they have, different sides to them, and I really, really adore that in a group, that they have a distinct, identifiable, recognizable sound, as Gravity Gun indeed do have, but then that they are able to have both the light and the shade, and none of it is like a cookie cutter, simple stuff, that you can just sort of easily listen to and have it on in the background. You gotta pay attention and the attention to detail and the soundscape, which has all these different. As always with synth music, it's it's one of those things where I just tend to be amazed by the creativity of the electronic music genre, whether it's synthwave or whatever it is. I mean, I just got a really nice message from Matt Hodges, actually, who I played on a previous episode. I think it was show 14, and he just sent me some nice feedback about that show, because I don't quite remember what I said on that particular show, but he was just commenting that it came across as a sort of a celebration of the synthwave genre, and if I managed that, then awesome. That's what I'm here for. Trying to lift artists and not put anybody down. If I sometimes come across as critical, then at least I hope that criticism is leveled at the mainstream artists and major players in the music scene. I think they need to be able to accept whatever criticism is leveled at them. I mean, whether they're an organization or an individual. Well, let's not go there. Let's play some more music. This is from Sweden. This is Pillowpeace. I played Pillowpeace. Well, it's been a while. Yeah, it was probably in June or something, and I played a song from Pelle and his merry band of whoever is involved in the making of this one. This song is called Just Another Man Wanting More. Intriguing name. I'm sure it's going to be an intriguing listen. I haven't listened to it, so maybe this is the first time for you as well. Let's enjoy it together.
Facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
Just another man wanting more.
Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods. facts. They're falsehoods.
Alternative facts are not facts, they are falsehoods. Well, I stand by that statement. Pillowpeace with a song called Just Another Man Wanting More. Whatever could he be referring to? Well, your guess is probably better than mine. I love that arpeggiated marimba or whatever sound that was on the left side of the stereo picture as I was listening. I love that sort of thing where it kind of it's like, is it even in time with the rest of the song? Yes, it is, but it kind of has a life of its own, and on the whole, that composition was very different to the one that I played before, but it was beguiling nevertheless. Just very simple, very sort of, there's a tension there that doesn't break. You know, that takes some guts to just put a song like that together where the level of tension is constant. I certainly, as a writer, am completely unable to work with that kind of a songwriting style, medium, whatever it is, where you just have to kind of I don't know what I was gonna say, but that was a brilliant piece of songwriting again from Pillowpeace. Lovely music. Another very different song compared to the stuff that we heard before, you know? It's such an intriguing and interesting and wonderful thing to be able to just spend a couple of hours in the company of such great artists, and you never know what you're gonna hear, and then, I mean, you might think, well, or you might not think that doing a show like this would be a chore. Well, it's nothing of the sort. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is easily my favorite 2 hours of the week, pretty much, on any given week where I'm doing shows. It's been actually a couple of empty weeks now because I did a bunch of them beforehand for various reasons, and so it's been a while since I last recorded. But so it's good to be back in the saddle, as Steven Tyler might put it. That's an Aerosmith reference for you. What a timely reminder of that band who have been putting out such great records in the last 20 years. Or 30. When was the last good Aerosmith album, actually? What, 97? Okay, Pump gets a pass. That was pretty decent, but come on. That's what you get when you have a hit with a ballad. That's a career killer, if ever there was one. Anyway, Desperate Scenes. Well, that was almost like a good segue. Aerosmith to Desperation. This was recommended to me, or actually submitted to me by Nikki, the person who also handles or represents the Welsh band that I played on a previous episode. This next artist is called TheWeatherInHum, and their song is called Desperate Scenes. Let us have a listen to it on SLE Radio. Well, where else? KNAC.com?
Some of those things that were denied
Well, what a weird and wonderful song from TheWeatherInHum there. That was called Desperate Scenes. Lovely, very interesting song. I loved it. And besides, more drummers should play with brushes. I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with some quiet drumming if it befits the song. Befits or fits, whatever. I rather enjoyed it. A great deal, in fact. Another song that completely defied expectations. As you may gather from my reaction, I had not listened to that. That may or may not be because I misread Nikki's email to me, because I thought that was going to be the La La Let's. Luckily, I didn't make another blunder on air and call that a song by a wrong band. Anyway, that was, let me be clear, that was on TheWeatherInHum. And I would dearly love to hear more from them. A full album of that style of music, where would be an intriguing prospect, to say the least. What other treats do they have up their sleeves? That was very, very good. Indeed. Now, what's next? What musical magic have some artist wrought? What am I talking about? Fyter. I'm talking about Fyter. I played Kindly Spoken Thieves a while back on the show, and a member of a said group got in touch and said, well, this is a project by a member of Kindly Spoken Thieves, and I am apologizing if I misremember here. My prep for these shows can sometimes be atrocious. Anyway, this song is from an album called Spector Phantom Visions, and this is the first song off of that record. It's one of those ones where I'd actually have to play the whole damn album, but that's not how this format works, so I'm just going to play the first one, which is called Spector 1. Enjoy. sorry to have to cut that off. That was the first song from Hydrofighter's album Spector Phantom Visions, that was called Spector 1. Now, clearly an album to be enjoyed from start to finish. Each song flows into the next one. One of those pieces of music that it's hard to do justice to by simply playing a single song. But I wanted to share that with all of you. That was some lovely ambient, sort of lo-fi, dark synth, whatever it was. Another example of the boundless creativity and everything great about electronic music. Man, you have to... Well, no, you don't. But I'm going to tell you anyway that a year ago, in August 2019, I had not really listened to electronic music at all, ever in my life. I mean, the furthest back with regard to like more... shall we say less mainstream electronic music would be maybe like an Alan Wilder solo album, Recoil, you know. I hardly ever ventured any further than that. And now in the last 10 months or whatever that I've been immersed in that world, oh, what a world it is. Anyway, that was Hydrofighter, music written and performed by Steve Setzefand. There's a I thought my last name was difficult to pronounce. My real last name. You want me to pronounce it? I will. It's Vehkapera. Yeah, repeat after me. Anyway, out now, I believe, or out soon on Shady Ridge Reggae Records. Oh, out now or soon on Shady Ridge Records. That was Hydrofighter, a song called Spector 1. Half Decent up next. I played him before. I played a song called Bill Murray on an earlier show, and this is a song called Morning After from Half Decent. Let's check it out now. Time for a mood shift. That's how we roll on the Jeff Vicario radio program on SLERadio.com.
I wipe the crust out my eyes, beat the crust on my plate, neck my cup of tea. It's a toast for today. I'm surprised I survived. Last night was a mess. I put my body to the test. Have you ever had too much fun? Drank the club out of rum at 1:45. I'm on my bird box, floating to where the curb stops. Head hurts lot like I took a curb stomp. And this girl I met, let me tell you what, she's as sweet as the nut that I'm off. She wants a day of blockbusters and chill, but I can't handle the thrill. I could kill for some pills. Gotta sober up somehow, cause tonight I promised the guys we go out. The morning after, that's a hard pill to swallow. Wallow in the sorrow, man, I wish it was tomorrow. We don't think about the morning after. Chase nights in high speed, always wanna go faster. Always starts with laughter. Guess what? It ends in disaster. We don't think about the morning after. Chase nights in high speed, always wanna go faster. Always starts with laughter. Guess what? It ends in disaster. I'm in a bad way and it's only midday. Whatever which way, I'm in a write-off state. Everyone seems so quick-paced and I'm in a Lego lifestyle, feeling brick-faced. Want to improve but I can barely move. Vision confused and it feels like I'm playing Doom. And this girl won't leave my room. She wants a commitment or peace can't resume. My eyes zoom and I say that I'll try it. If she can help me get a healthy diet. I'm not always so reliant, but I drank more than Andre the Giant. I just wanna waste my time with you. If I go see my mates, I don't know what they do. I'm supposed to make cocktails of Caribou Lou, but the 151's gone and I wanna watch Clue. We don't think about the morning after. Chase nights in high speed, always wanna go faster. Always starts with laughter. Guess what? It ends in disaster. We don't think about the morning after. Chase nights in high speed, always wanna go faster. Always starts with laughter. Guess what? It ends in disaster. It's 7 p.m. They turned up in a BM, bags full of vodka. I can barely see them. They turned off the movie, got rid of Susie, and that's a shame. She was a beauty with a booty. They're going hardcore Cactus Jack, but for now I'm only sipping on the snaps. They fed me shots and energy until they found the remedy. Cranberry Hennessy, helping me tremendously. Lost in Prague, lost in Vegas, lost in space, lost in Soho, lost my flow so off my face. Baby shambled for Pete's sake. Maybe ramble at Steve's face, I can't even speak straight. At the pre-drinks I blacked out again, just about when we went out again. I can't say where it was that we went. My last thought was at least I'm with my friends.
Oh, that was ridiculously good. That was half decent with Morning After. What a song. God, man, that dude's delivery is so good. It's so funny, and he just plays it straight. Not a wink, not a nod. It's just like so sardonic, laconic, whatever whatever descriptive word you want to think of. I'm, not a native English speaker, so I occasionally mix my metaphors and whatnot. But that was half decent with Morning After. Again, what a song. I mean, amazing. From the sort of kind of chilled out vibe of the beat, kind of throwback 80s vibe on the drums there, drum machine there, but then the flow of that dude is great, and the lyrics are so funny. But I mean, it's all in the delivery. I realize that. I mean, if you were to do that as like a joke song with a put on accent or whatever, that would probably suck. But that was just amazing. Let me reiterate, that was amazing. And you know what? This is from an album called Groundhog Day, out August 21st, which today, as I'm recording this, is actually August 21st. So let me confuse you, dear listener who is listening to this on September 1st. I am recording this on August 21st. That's the way I roll. Out on Quick Fix Recordings, that song was submitted to me by Terry from Gets Louder PR. Thank you. Always have to play some stuff from Half Decent. You're going to be hearing more from him on this show, and I'm pretty damn sure you're going to be hearing more from him all over the place if this is a just world, which we all know it isn't, but whatever. I've got a platform and 2 listeners, so both of them are damn well going to hear some great music. And what do you know? I've got a new single from Gargoyl. I played them on show 14. Man, I'm such a fanboy. I'm already getting excited. I just, yesterday or the day before that, realized, they've got a new single out from their forthcoming record. This song is called Wraith. It's another one I haven't listened to beforehand. In fact, I haven't listened to any of the songs on this show so far at all. So it's been quite an interesting hour or however long this has been going. Probably too long for you, dear listener, since I can't seem to be able to shut my mouth. But anyway, next up, Gargoyl. This song is called Wraith.
I live
destruction carrying on in washed out tracks between the stations. We search for truth, and I feel when all thoughts stop making sense, beliefs start breaking down, and I can hear your ghost stumble through the empty streets at night, pretending they're alive. I cannot hear your words. All I hear is static. There is something else, something that clings on. After all, the
Gargoyl, Wraith. Now, surely I am not the only Opeth and Alice in Chains fanboy out here in the world who's a little bit disappointed with both bands' recent output. So it's kind of cool that a fresh, talented, and awesome band like Gargoyl can bring it with their familiar but unique sound and vibe, and they sort of bring together all of the best things that from those two bands that I mentioned. I mean, there were such clear and awesome Opeth vibes on the guitar sound there, and then the vocal style, kind of reminiscent of William Duvall, current AIC lead singer, or whoever the lead singer is. But really, I kind of got the feeling there that, like, Cherry Cantrell, please take notes. This is how it's done. Because honestly, the most recent couple of Alice in Chains records have been such huge disappointments. Anyway, I digress. That's the sound of a band that's in constant movement. I love Gargoyl for the fact that they're so adventurous. They're so confident in their abilities as songwriters, as musicians. The sound of that record is just perfect. And it's the same as with Electrical Sickness. And every song I've heard from them, Acid Crown, whatever, their ability to keep the listener in suspense with constant movement. It's not an easy listening experience, and that to me is what sometimes music should be all about: keeping the listener on their toes, making them like pay attention, and giving them that slightly uneasy feeling of, what is this that I'm listening to? Is this evil? Well, yes, of course, Satan has all the best tunes. As we all know, that was Gargoyl. What a great song by them. That was called Wraith, a brand new single, I believe, out. Lost my train of thought. I believe it was released earlier this week. But then when I'm saying earlier this week, I mean the week starting in mid-August. And you are 2 weeks away from this date, and you're just gonna have to deal with the confusion. The evil dark is upon us. Some great synthwave coming your way now. Indeed. Coming your way right now. This song is called The Flesh is Weak. What a great driving song from the Evil Dark there. That was called The Flesh is Weak. I would say that was both dark and playful. The chord changes was just brilliant classic, sort of like, I don't know. They brought to the album that I started thinking of was Some Great Reward by Depeche Mode. That was like an updated take on some of the sort of four on the floor beat songs from that record. But those melodies was some of my favorite synth melodies from anybody in a long while. Yeah, it was undeniably dark. I mean, but it put a smile on my face. What is this evil that makes me feel good? Well, again, the devil has the best tunes. We all know that. There's no argument there. What a great song. Another perfect example. I mean, put that song up against, well, like for instance, what was the song that I played on this show? I forget. Yeah, the Gravity Gun song. Is essentially kind of like of a similar genre, but so vastly, hugely different. Or something by Millennium Folk or Driver 86, sorry. I'm getting my Finnish synth waivers confused here. Anyway, moving on. That was brilliant. Thanks so much for allowing me to play that. That was one that I sourced out. I heard it on a streaming service and got in touch and said, this is good. This is amazing. I want to play it. And luckily, as these artists tend to do, I got a yes, do play the song, and I did. There it is. The Evil Dark, The Flesh is Weak. Couldn't agree with you more. Now, next up, a song that was recommended by none other than Jay from SLE Radio, the main mastermind, overlord of all things and everyone that is here. He is actually the person who writes all my scripts. He dictates everything I say, so obviously, well, I'm kidding. This song is by Ivory Tower Project. It was indeed recommended to me by Jay. Said, is this anywhere near up your alley? And I said, yes, it is. Let's play it now. It's called Burning, and this is a full-length remix of the song.
Visions of you by the pool, by the sea. You can hide and looking at me in the sun, on the sun. Need to sweat all across your den through the shades. Can't you see that I need your love to rescue me? And now I'm burning with desire. And the flames are getting higher. see visions of you in the sun, on the sand. Beads of sweat fall across your tan. Every day in the night, well, through the light, cast our trailing of hope. Through the shades, can't you see that I need your love to rescue me? And now I'm burning with desire, and the flames are getting higher. I'll push my firstborn out the fire. I'm burning with desire. Oh no, I'm burning with desire, and the flames are getting higher. Push my firstborn out the fire. I'm burning with desire. Oh yeah, I'm burning with desire, and the flames are getting higher. Push my firstborn out the fire. I'm burning with
A sax solo followed by a guitar solo with some of the most 80s sounding drums in existence. That was Ivory Tower Project with a song called Burning, and I have to say, I unequivocally love it. What a great song. Just that chorus hook alone, it's like this towering, soaring kind of 70s. Back in the 70s, 80s, when old prog dudes started playing pop, Asia and whatnot, stuff like that. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But I gotta love that when that classic, the way the chorus chord change resolves itself. I've used that myself a number of times. I just love it, and it just fits perfectly. And a sax solo followed by a guitar solo. That's just perfect. What a great song. That's all there is to say about that. Ivory Tower Project there with Burning. I loved it. There's not enough that's sort of pump rock. I don't know, what do you call that? Yeah, well, I call it great music. That's what I call it. What's next? My good friend Joey from LimboCast, who is probably the next in line after this show eventually ends. It may feel to you like this is going on and on and on and on and on, but that's the nature of the not quite beast, but some sort of occasionally frightening animal. I've been led to believe that those things that live in Australia that hang off of trees are not actually very nice. So maybe this show is kind of like that, but I don't remember what the name of that damn animal is. Void Stare paging Dr. Void, tell me what the hell it was the name of that animal. Joey recommends a new segment. This song is called Time Falls Away, and it is by a band called Dellacoma, one of the Curtain Call Records bands. I've been playing their stuff before, and indeed I am playing some now. This is a great song from Dellacoma, coming at you now on SLERadio.com.
When you leave, can I come to?
That was Dellacoma with a song called Time Falls Away. I am making very appreciative noises here in my head and out my mouth. That was great. It was seriously great. That's sort of kicking off with a very sort of kind of like a long-lost Sabbath riff from around the time of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath or something. Definitely some Led Zeppelin vibes there, but like 100 million times better than that god-awful Greta Van Fleet, for whatever the hell they're called. The singer is so good. So good. I mean, I get definitely when the chorus hits, it's like, oh, we're soaring now, high above there somewhere with some goddamn eagles. Not the band, nor the eagles of that should have showed up at the start of Lord of the Rings. But let's not go there. Although I suppose I could make the case that Led Zeppelin and Lord of the Rings kind of go together. Ramble on, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that was good. Let me just reiterate that was a very, very good song. One of those. It's Have you ever tried writing a classic rock song? Tried doing it well. Now the likes of Maitlands Starsley band that I played a while back, they're very good at doing the southern style version of that. But Dellacoma, one of the best sort of classic rock tunes I've heard in a long time, and they have that courage to just ride on with that killer riff, and the singer is so ridiculously good, seriously ridiculously good. I am amazed that he has so much character in his voice. Definitely some grunge vibes there, pleasant echoes of like Soundgarden and early 90s. I was 16 then. Good times. No, they were horrible times. Who wants to be 16? It hell sucks, Anyway, Lunar Reverb is another band that Jay from the station recommended to me. And we're gonna hear a song from them right now as soon as I check what the title was, because it's called A Purple Pistol of Love. Wonder what this could be about. Stay tuned and you shall perhaps find out. Yeah, the artist is called Lunar Reverb. Now that's something that I can get behind. A great sort of, I don't know what the power pop, what. Arlington, Texas is where they're from. Lunar Reverb, that song was called Purple Pistol of Love. From an EP called, I believe, Younger Days. It's out now. Go find it somewhere. I loved it. There's an earnestness there that is so endearing, but and the bass line, which is kind of, I'm thinking, is that Taxman? Kind of similar. The Beatles, they don't own that riff. I mean, it's been used a million times. It doesn't matter, and it wasn't the same anyway. It simply reminded me of it. Have I had too much coffee today? Yes, but that's pretty much the case every single day of my life. Lunar Reverb. Let's be precise with the pronunciation. I still don't have a pop shield. I almost bought one yesterday, but then I started wondering, where am I gonna like attach it to? Because quite often I am using a handheld microphone when I record. Not right now, actually. I am in a room with a desk, believe it or not. This is not the balcony. The balcony is probably where I'm going to be doing the next show, so expect some seagulls and possibly foghorns. Brr. However, the next song is by Xetrovoid. It's called Deadly Pursuit. Another one I heard on my release radar. A playlist populated by artists that Spotify thinks I might be interested in. Well, actually, they are mostly artists that I already follow, but I must also admit that I almost never use Spotify all that much. I'm not really... Let's not go there. I've said all I need to say about that particular thing, but the good thing about it is that I heard this song from Xetrovoid, and I thought this is pretty damn good. So I'm going to play it to you now. This is called Deadly Pursuit.
Deadly
amazing. There's no other word for it. That was Xetrovoid with Deadly Pursuit. Another pretty much damn near perfect example of some dark wave, synth wave, whatever wave you call it. It is kind of beside the point. I love that pacing, that sort of that feeling of being slightly ahead of the beat, and everything is just perfect. I love those intricate, super fast melodies and arpeggios and things that are happening there. Amazing. From Cyboria, presumably a neighboring country to Steampunkia. Maybe they are at war. I don't know. Anyway, Xetrovoid specializes in a cyberpunk themed, inspired dark wave. And if that wasn't just brilliant, then I don't know what is. Magnificent. Utterly magnificent. Another one that I heard, and as I may or may not have mentioned, and asked said artist, would you mind terribly if I play the song? They said yes. Here we are. And now they are probably regretting their decision. However, Initiation is the name of the album, I believe, and the song. Sorry, let me start over. Joey, from Limbocast, also of Curtain Call Records, has been affiliated with them for some weeks now. He got in touch and said there's another band I would like you to have a listen to. And they're called Nygma, spelled Nygma, I believe. If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. And the song is called This Will Destroy Us. I'm going too fast, aren't I? I know that. I'm gonna slow right down right after this song, which is called This Will Destroy Us.
We live, we die.
Nygma with a song called This Will Destroy Us. Now, full disclosure, I almost didn't play that song. Why? Well, I started listening to it, and it starts off with that chord change, which has that sort of descending chromatic thing, and I thought, oh, not another one of those. Heard it too many times, maybe. But I'm glad I listened further, because damn, what a great sort of uplifting song that was. Regardless of the title, I mean, I'm not quite sure what like modern metal genre umbrella that falls under. I don't know. I mean, I got some of the vibes from the vocals kind of reminded me of Architects, who are one of the few bands from that sort of screaming style of vocal thing that I've ever listened to. But what sort of was really nice and cool and awesome about the guitar work here was how clean it was. It was like, because you kind of expect when that sort of breakdown section comes and you're going, everybody move, the guitars are going to be down-tuned, they're going to have every distortion pedal ever invented on at the same time, and it's going to be a mush. And instead, these guys have tones like Malcolm Young or Tom Morello or someone who has a really clean... So kudos, guys. I love the guitar work. So well played, tight as hell, great rhythm playing, just overall. But above all, I mean, I love that, how clean the guitars were. I mean, obviously there's distortion there, but it comes across like, okay, this is a guitar plugged into an old school Marshall, and just, or whatever, Orange Amp, whatever the hell people use, or even if it's just like a box standard like tone out of GarageBand. What the hell do I know? I'm sure it wasn't. Anyway, my point is, I love the guitar sound. I love the fact that it was so clean. That's the word. But heavy at the same time. And above all, it was a great song. Uplifting is the word I would use. Great. And you know what? Let's listen to some Alpha Chrome Yayo, just for the hell of it. I wasn't going to play anything from him on this show because I simply hadn't planned it. But I've been going so fast, speaking so fast, that I actually have time to drop an extra song in. And just on a whim, I picked a song from Alpha, ACY, who is one of my... Well, he's a great artist, great dude on the whole, and such a prolific person. I just picked an EP from him from Bandcamp at random. It's called Malediction. Blah. It's not called Malediction Ball. It's called Malediction Boulevard, of course. And this is... Is this the title track? Yes, it is. It's an EP from last year, actually. I haven't listened to it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. And if it's not, well, of course it is. It's Alpha Chrome Yayo, for Christ's sakes. For Satan's sakes, let's be clear. Let's be honest. Where are, what's that word that I'm looking for? Allegiance, maybe. Lie. Whatever. Malediction Boulevard, right now. that was a perfect fit for this show. That was Alpha Chrome Yayo, a song called Malediction Boulevard. I picked that song purely on the strength of the title, because I figured this is not gonna be fun and games. Well, it was still kind of fun. That guy has a way with melody that's always sort of kind of playful, which I enjoy. I've kind of grown to expect that sort of thing from him when there's a lot of melodic movement within the grooves of the song, and but I like the overall slightly, well, okay, Malediction Boulevard. The name is a giveaway, I guess. It fits, and it sounds great. I've got a ton of music from him, man. I should just drop a song from him to each show, and you'd be amazed at probably how different the vibe can be when he's in charge of the groove, as we say, or somebody else. Nearing the end of the show, I've been going really fast. It's only an hour and 45 minutes, and I only got 2 songs left for ya. And that was like an extra that I just played. That wasn't in the lineup. I sometimes do this, I plan and then I change plans and do something I wasn't gonna do. Next up, another suggestion, a recommendation from Jay from the station. I hope I'm doing the pattern right. Am I repeating all of the words that you programmed me to say on this show, Jay? I hope you are happy. I am trying to be a good host, which I'm failing at or succeeding at, depending on what you're looking for from your radio station. If it is somebody, a random robot saying, "This is great, let's play another song," and then you're gonna hear some auto-tuned crap from some wannabe pop artist who sucks, you're on the wrong channel. Go listen to some clear channel crap. Or whatever. This is SLE Radio. Only good music here. Only good indie music. And the occasional slightly bigger artist. Because, let's face it, some of them make good music as well. But, I digress. The Maitlands is the next artist. The second to last song of the show. The song is called When It Rains, It Pours. It doesn't... it's not the case here right now, as I'm looking out the window. It's really rather nice. I wish it were like this every single day, but there you go. When it rains, it pours. The Maitlands. And what a great way to bring the show to a close. I almost said bring the song to a close. Well, that would have made sense too. That was the Maitlands, When It Rains, It Pours. Great song. Just driving rock guitars and attitude. And just simple good songwriting. That's what you gotta have when you play music like that. You know, it's pretty easy to just go around and, you know, turn everything to 11 and bang away. But if you don't have a song, well, who cares, you know? Is anybody going to pay attention? I did. That was a great song. It goes to show that Jay at the station is a genius, and he is awesome, and he has impeccable taste in music. Well, I would assume he does. Yeah, I am just going to go out and say that indeed he does. I played... Was that the third recommendation from him? Anyway, another good one. Another corker. Great song. What's next? Well... What's next is that I'm going to play one more song and then I'm going to leave, only to return next week. But before we move on to the last song of the show, I want to thank everybody that sent me music, got in touch, people who replied to me. We've heard some great stuff from Swayze, Unknown Land, Gravity Gun, Pillowpeace, TheWeatherInHum, Fyter. Half Decent, that was awesome. Probably my favorite song of the show. Gargoyl, The Evil Dark, Ivory Tower Project, Dellacoma, Lunar, Reverb, Nygma, Alpha Chrome, Yayo, and now the Maitlands. And I'm gonna leave you with a brand new, brand old song from my project, Black Distortion. This is a world premiere. I'm gonna use my own platform to promote a forthcoming Black Distortion album. I released I should say, because Joey is a part of this group as well, but it's no big secret that I am kind of handling most of the movement here, so that's why I occasionally say me, my, I'm an egomaniac, like everybody. Or maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, Black Distortion, I put out a collection of older but revamped songs from Black Distortion in June. It was called Unknown, the collected works. But that was just 1/3 of the story over the last 10 months or so, mostly around between October of last year and early this year. I wrote some 30 odd songs for Black Distortion. Some of them were more sort of fully realized, you know, well-formed compositions. Some were just sketches, demos. They were all out on YouTube for a long time. I've since deleted them from that place. You cannot find any official Black Distortion recordings on YouTube. If you do, they shouldn't be there. But never mind, they're also crappy demos. For the forthcoming collection, which is going to be called Information, the Collected Works Volume 2, or Part 2, I'm not sure yet, which I'm going to release, I think, in September, if all goes well. If not, then I'm going to release it in October, if all goes well-ish, and if all goes pear-shaped, then maybe next year. I don't know. I'm also working on a brand new Black Distortion album with all new material, but that's gonna take a long, long time. It'll be out sometime next year. Anyway, I digress. Well, no, I don't, actually. Black Distortion is a pet project of mine. I really that's, I think, my main thing right now, because that basically gives me the freedom to do whatever I want, write whatever I want, and perform it any way I choose. Anyway, the song I'm going to play is called Information. It's a title track of a sorts of the forthcoming record. Now, this was put together as a demo late last year. It was just a bunch of random, ugly synth sounds and a really weird vocal melody. I didn't think much of it, but my good friend Jeremiah from the Hikikomori Pact heard it and said, well, it's not that bad, really. Maybe, in fact, it could even be called music. I certainly didn't feel that way about it to begin with. But on his recommendation, I kind of filed that demo away and thought, well, maybe I will return to it and see if there's something there. It was, like I said, just a short, weird bunch of noise with some vocals. And in fact, earlier this week, I almost totally re-recorded it. Played, even the vocals are new and everything. feel free to tune out anytime you choose. Anyway, the song is gonna be playing any moment now. It turned out to be quite an interesting piece of music. Not a fun time song in any sense of the word, but nevertheless, a piece of music that I am strangely proud of. And this might not be the final mix. This is just a teaser. I have not really maybe put in enough hours to make it as good as it can be, but it's pretty close. And with all that said, this has been another episode of the Jeff Vicario Show, episode 16, in fact. And I will see you back on, or hear you, feel you, and all those good things next week on SLERadio.com. Goodbye for now.
Marching witches form a cluster at your feet. Bible thumping virgins say their prayers amidst the din. Super highway lets you get away. You know their deepest secrets. You know their darkest thoughts. You know their bleakest sorrows. You know their weakest spots. Recite their